Hey everybody, this is Jim Kurtz, and welcome to today's episode of The Successful Farmer. And today we had a very special guest lined up for you. His name's Ivan. He's one of our farmers in Puerto Rico, and he's been getting some amazing results. In fact, I talked to him earlier today. And I'm not sure if he's having technical problems or if he's just running a little late, but hopefully he'll be able to hop on to this broadcast in just a few minutes. In the meantime, I wanted to just kind of discuss with you kind of what he's been doing, what he's been noticing, and just to give you an idea of what you can expect when you use this. But before I really get into the results and what we've already seen in the past, I want to issue kind of a challenge. Everybody talks about wanting to increase yield, wanting to improve quality, wanting to have more sustainable crops and a sustainable farming operation. But whether what the money really reaches the road is, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to actually implement those desires? How are you going to achieve those goals? Because it's very easy to, go and play the lottery or something else, or go to Vegas and hope to hit it big. But the reality is, the way we get to success in this country and everywhere else is by really utilizing good judgment, number one, working hard, and following through with your commitment to yourself and your family and the people around you. And that's what the challenge I want to issue to you guys. We have done everything in our power to make this as accessible and risk-free um, for farmers all over the world to be able to take advantage of the Kiminosi plant booster. And really we've done hundreds of different side-by-side comparisons. We've got well over 100 case studies now, over 600 farms using it this year, and we're waiting for obviously harvest season, which is right around now in a lot of areas, till we get those final numbers so we can present a lot of that. But I want to issue you guys a challenge. If you really want to see big improvements on your farm, if you want to see big improvements in yield and big improvements in quality of your crops, then I urge you to take advantage of the opportunity we're giving you, which is to utilize the Kimanasi plant booster to see the results on your own farm. It is risk-free. We completely back it with a honey money back guarantee if it doesn't produce more money than the cost of our device. And frankly, we haven't had a single farmer ever request their money back because this technology works. It does what it says it does. And it's not simply an input. The thing that we get confused with quite a bit is fertilizers or nitrogen or soil amendments or those types of things. Those types of solutions really address one small aspect of crop production. It's a very important aspect, don't get me wrong. But you can only put so much into the soil before the plant says, look, I can't I can't absorb more. Unless you're making the plants more efficient and healthier, then there's no way for them to utilize the water and nutrients that you're providing to it. And so, in most farming operations, you're losing about 80% of the inputs you're putting in the soil. I mean, 80%. Stop and think about that for a second. If you've complained at some point in your career about the rising cost of fertilizer, the rising cost of inputs, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret, guys. The price of fertilizer is going up. In case you haven't been paying attention, the cost of transportation has gone up dramatically since the last election here in the United States. In fact, when Biden was elected, the cost of gas I think was like somewhere around 2.80, and now I think it's creeping up. No, it wasn't even less than that. It was around $2 a gallon, I recall, and now it's up past $3 a gallon, at least here in Florida. And in California and other places, I'm sure it's even higher. So the reality of the situation is the cost of fuel is going up, and I'm not here to make a political statement one way or the other, but I am here to say that the cost of fuel is going up. And as the cost of fuel goes up, the cost of transporting fertilizers and soil amendments and other heavy things like these is going to go up as well. And it's going to cost a lot more money. In fact, I'm actually hearing numbers like 30 to 50% in the next 2 years. So if your cost of inputs is high now, imagine what it's going to be when it's 50% higher in a couple of years. So you really have to start looking at other situations. Now, our technology and our product does not utilize fertilizer, does not utilize big heavy materials. So the cost of transportation is over like a FedEx. You know what I mean? It's like maybe $50 one time, and then you're good to go. So I really urge you to take a look at something that's going to make your plants more efficient. It's going to be much more efficient in terms of overall cost because it's not subject to heavy transportation costs and heavy material and transfer labor and that kind of stuff. It's a very easy product to to utilize. It's a set it and forget it type system. And I want to challenge you, like take action. If you want to see increased yields, if you want to see really how well your plants can perform and how much yield you can really get out of your farm, then I issue a challenge that I'm going to call it the Kiminosi challenge. I challenge you to use our product and I challenge you to measure everything closely. And I challenge you to see if you're going to get 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% increases in yield. We've seen it before. This is not hyperbole. It's not hype. It's not anything else. It's actual fact. We're seeing this on farms this year that we're already using this on. So take us up on our challenge and allow yourself the opportunity to utilize something that's going to be the future of farming. It is going to be something that is going to be everything that every farmer is going to be using in the next 5 to 10 years. So why wait 5 or 10 years? Why wait till the price of our technology goes up because the demand is going to be so high? Take advantage of the situation where you have it, where not that many people are using it yet. We're still expanding rapidly out into the marketplace, and you have the opportunity to be on the front lines and be one of the first people to use it. So I want to issue that challenge, and then I'm going to get to some results here on Puerto Rico. So I wanted to also let you guys know that we have an introductory pricing system which has been out for the last 2 years. And that pricing is going to be ending at the end of this year because once we get all these university studies and all these case studies finished up for this year, the demand's going to be so high, we're going to have to raise our price and we're going to have to raise it to really where it should be anyway. Because when you look at a product that can produce $4,000, $10,000, $20,000 per acre more for the farmer, I mean, it makes sense that we should be able to charge much more than we are now, even into the hundreds or thousands of dollars per acre, because the end result is going to justify that. Now, no fertilizer on the planet can guarantee that you're going to make thousands of dollars more per acre in terms of additional revenue. Kiminosi Plant Booster is doing it every single day. So just want to issue that challenge there, guys. And I want to obviously invite you guys to ask your questions. Ivan, I guess it looks like he's not going to be able to join me here. I'm going to check real quick here to see if he's jumping on here. Nope, I'm not seeing him yet, but hopefully he'll be able to get the link and jump on here very soon. But I wanted to discuss what's been happening with him. So Ivan is a grower in Puerto Rico, and like a lot of growers, he doesn't have a ton of acreage, but he's been growing turmeric and coffee plants. He's been doing that for many years. And with the Kiminosi Plant Booster, he decided to take advantage of one of our early adopter systems. We were doing a grant in Puerto Rico where we granted technology at no charge to the farmers of Puerto Rico. This was done in 2020. We did this because they had suffered two straight hurricanes, Hurricane Maria, and I can't remember the other one. I believe it was Jose. I have to double check and see which. Oh no, it was, excuse me, Irma and Maria were the two hurricanes. So within a span of about 6 months, they had two back-to-back hurricanes that destroyed a lot of farms out there. So we decided to do what we could as far as humanitarian actions. We donated our technology to the farmers of Puerto Rico, and many of them have produced excellent results. And Ivan was one of them. Ivan actually growing turmeric and coffee plants primarily. I talked to him today, and again, we're expecting to have him on here. But when I talked to him, he mentioned that he had doubled the growth rate and doubled the size from May. So he got his device on these nursery applications of these turmeric plants, and he planted them back in May with the Kiminosi Plant Booster, and then he, of course, had his own standard production. But since May, he said that the plants have grown up to 6 inches tall, and the untreated plants are only 3 inches tall. So we're talking about a period of 3 months. They've doubled the growth rate and doubled the size in that 3 month period. So huge differences there. They're expecting a huge difference in overall yield as well from this plant. Now, the other thing that he mentioned to me is that they're planning on growing vanilla. This is something that they've been trying to source locally because vanilla used to be grown in Puerto Rico and now it's not, it's imported. Now, Puerto Rico as an island now imports 95% of all their food. And what they're trying to do, what the farmers are trying to do, and what Ivan's trying to help us with is to be able to increase the productivity of farms in Puerto Rico so that we can switch that back around. We want at least 50%, if not more, of the produce grown in Puerto Rico to be able to be utilized. So, or the food that people are eating to be grown locally there in Puerto Rico, because it's a huge difference when you have to, um, when you have to do this. All right, so he's looks like Ivan's joining us here. I can see there was a confusion about the time there. I think we talked about 4:30 versus 5:30. So Ivan should be joining us here in a minute, and I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'm going to not talk much more about his specific yields. But I want you guys to know that it's not often believed that that people can get these kinds of results because apparently there's a lot of people promising a lot of things, but the reality is, if you're only handling a small piece of the plant's metabolism, there's only so much you can do. You can only add so much nitrogen to the soil, for example. You can only water the plant so much. You can only do so much when you're just adding inputs to soil and hoping that that translates into yield and profits. But when you can increase the metabolism of the plants, you're enabling that plant to be healthier and stronger and utilize the resources available to it much, much more efficiently. So I'm going to see here. Thanks here. I have some questions here. I just want to ask here. Does it help with cloudy weather? The answer is yes, actually. One of the unique features of a Kiminosi plant booster is the ability of it to utilize the sun's energy more efficiently. So when you have sunny, bright days, it's able to convert that sunlight into lots of energy. But when you have cloudy days or overcast days where the amount of available sunlight is reduced, Gimnasi plant booster is going to also keep that plant going and keep it producing a lot of energy with photosynthesis. So this is something that can definitely benefit um, you and most farmers there as well. So even on cloudy days. So Um, but ask your questions, please. That was a good question, Maria. Thank you so much. But if you guys have questions, please let me know. I definitely want to answer them for you here. I just want to check in. This is trying to get in. I'm trying to see where Mr. Ivan is. Looks like, oh, not sure if he's joining us or not. I'm going to actually just send him another link here because I just want to see if I can get him in. Maybe get a fresh link there. So sometimes this happens with these live events. We get these people that we coordinate and everything, and it's hard to get everything going. So, um, but at the end of the day, we're here to help farmers. So if you've got issues with yield or you've got issues with insects or funguses or disease or other types of issues, and you're not really sure what to do about it, or you just don't want to spray chemicals to keep solving this problem on the immediate basis, but creating more long-term effects that are not necessarily desirable, you know, give the Kiminosi plant booster a try because it's been proven to improve these different areas by a great deal here. I say type your questions in the comments here. By the way, we're waiting for Ivan here. Just type your questions in. We'd love to answer the questions for you if you can here. Like I got Ivan on the phone. 1 second here, guys. Just when you think you're safe from, I have my phone here with me. Usually I don't have my phone with me on these presentations, but I have them here with me because I was expecting a call from Ivan. I'm going to kind of soldier on here, guys. Hopefully, we can get Ivan on. If we can't get him on, we'll invite him again next week. But at the end of the day, our mission as a company is to help farmers grow healthier, better quality produce. And part of that mission is to reduce the amount of chemicals needed to produce a good crop. Now, fertilizers and everything and soil amendments are one thing, but sometimes when you spray too much of these things, it can reduce the microbial activity in the soil and not be a sustainable solution. The Kiminosi plant booster, because it's a non-chemical solution, it's using the laws of physics to stimulate plant health. We're able to increase plant health and production and crop health without having the same kinds of side effects here. So I think I'm seeing Ivan here. Ivan, are you there?
Hello, Jim. I am not hearing you.
Can you hear me or no?
Very far away.
Very far away. Okay. Hopefully the guys can hear me. I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry, but here we have a heavy rain and no connectivity.
Okay. Well, no problem. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So welcome to our broadcast. Sorry the confusion there about the time, I guess, but
Thank you.
I was telling everybody about your results on the turmeric. Did you want to kind of discuss that a little bit? What you've seen so far?
Sure. How many minutes do I have? 5?
Yeah, go ahead. 5, 10, whatever
Okay,
you
just
need.
5 minutes. I seen I talked to Gabriel already, and I submitted some photos of my
Uh-huh.
turmeric project on my farm Utuado. I don't know if you have it available, but the reality is that I have been farming coffee for almost 12 years in Puerto Rico. I do have my own trademark, etc., but I changed also to another harvest with the turmeric 4 or 5 years back. I am with an associate, the supplier of one of the biggest chains in Puerto Rico, the supermarkets or grocery stores, and we have been selling the almost $25,000, which is a big amount of money in Puerto Rico for only a segment of the turmeric, because we are the second biggest uh, harvest farmers in Puerto Rico,
Hmm.
and we started 4 years back. The other guy had on production. But the reality is that when I heard about I met Frank and I heard about the Kiminosi plant booster. So I read a lot about it and I said, Frank, I think we need that in Puerto Rico. I flew to Florida and also I met him there in Florida, I think 2 years back. And
Hmm.
he flew to Puerto Rico also for the distribution of some Kiminosi products. I just get one or two as a gift because he was committed to the small farmers in Puerto Rico on a grant after the Hurricane Maria hit the island. We lost everything. We lost in Puerto Rico. We lost 20 million trees of coffee only. So
Wow.
the turmeric, we make a transition to the turmeric, and we started reading uh, everything that was available. Right now, the reality is that I decided to install the system and make a, let's say, like a big test. Because the
Hmm.
reality is when you plant in Puerto Rico on soil, you have a lot of problems, Jim. A lot of problems because you have droughts, you
Hmm.
have the weeds, you need labor, it's intensive. So
Yeah.
when I heard about the Kiminasi plant booster, I said, well, we have to make a sample and test the system. So we started like by the end of April of this year and the beginning maybe by mid-May, we have planted almost 400 plants of turmeric. And I decided to use like a little corner of my farm that was originally a greenhouse destroyed by Maria. So the only you will see there are the tubes,
Hmm.
the PVC and also the metal frame. Uh,
Right.
the reality is that we installed the system like 90 days or maybe 100 days back. And the growth of the plants were just small at the beginning because we start from scratch. Remember, this is a rhizome, very little, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches large. We
Hmm.
planted on each of the pots and we wait until the plant grow. And we started, the system to watering and plant food and everything. Check out everything. But the reality is right now, after 100 days, it's impressive. And maybe you can show the picture. It's impressive the size of the turmeric. Right now, it's
Hmm.
like 60 inches tall, high, which is maybe 100, 150 over the regular plant size. So
Wow.
my plan is that I want to maybe duplicate or triplicate the expectation as regard of the harvest by the end of the year or maybe January. The
Hmm.
harvest should be by the end of the year or the beginning of January through April. And on the last 3 years, including my competition on the other side of the island, the average is 8 ounces per plant, 8 ounces only. It's
Yeah.
half a pound. The reality is that you can go to 3 or 4 pounds. I have make some uh, connection in India, which is the biggest supplier of turmeric on the world, and they say that they can get 5 pounds per plant.
Wow.
Doing something good there. We don't know. We are the beginner. But the reality is that when I use as an example before we installed the Kiminosi plant booster. We were using water from our fish tank. Also practice some aquaponics, and the reality
Mhm.
it's very charming. But the plants were good, green, looks good as compared to the regular one. But when we started the Kiminosi, after I would say 30 or 45, 60 days, we noticed a differentiation as regard to the growth of the plant, including the weeds, by the way. Because the reality is when you plant on the turmeric on regular soil, you need to take care of the weeds. Because remember, you're watering directly to the soil and also the weeds there. So it's labor
Right.
intensive. When we decided to move to the 5 gallon pot, the reality is right now it's very easy. I was forced, and I talked to Gabriela before on the previous uh, release, that I was forced to reinstall the irrigation system 3 times because of the growth of the plants. And I
Wow.
started at 4 feet level because that's common sense, more standard. But the reality is through, I have to relocate, and I ended like a few weeks back on 7 feet. Why? Because the plants are so bigger today. It's only, but today is 16 inches and it's growing. The harvest will be by December, January, and February. So maybe they will grow to 7 feet or 6 feet and a half. Hopefully,
Yeah, I want.
we will get a big harvest.
Yeah, I
But,
wanted to share my share.
excuse
Yeah,
me.
I wanted to share this. I wanted to share the screen here with
Oh, share the. I will love
just to see the picture here. So we're looking at the picture here, and it shows you it shows you behind the plants. Your head's barely poking out of one of the plants here.
I 6 inches. So if you see me, it's like 5. So numerics on the greenhouse when we are doing the test Minasi plant booster. See, say
Yeah, that's amazing. And you said the controls were about half
time.
that size. Yeah.
I am also important for a new competition. It's the intention to harvest vanilla in Puerto Rico, vainilla in Spain, uh, and we started that with Mexico. Some plants. The reality is that I have 25 plants at my home. It's my home. Part of the farm is there. Utuado. Uh, we are dedicating one specific spot of our garden to the vanilla. Using the Kiminasi plant booster. The reality after 45 days, the plants start growing up. The leaves are greener. They don't have any.
Oh, looks like he popped off. Oh, he should be back here in just a second. um, looks like his connection was there. He goes. His connection's coming back here. I'll get him back on here. Are
Just
you
let
there?
me know
Sorry.
if the connection is there.
Yeah, connection's here again. Looks like he dropped off for a second there. So
Okay. But
you were
I
mentioning
sent to
the
you some vanilla
vanilla.
plants pictures just to show. And for the record, I also told Frank, Gabriela, that I do some observation as regard of the landscape that are using the Kiminasi plant booster. And in Puerto Rico, we have a big problem. This is an observation on my side because I have to test it on the lemon trees, the orange
Mhm.
trees, grapefruit trees. Everything has a. See the picture there? They have a small picture on that pot, on that pot there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have it there just to show there is a virus or a fungus that is affecting the citrus industry of the world,
Uh-huh.
including Puerto Rico. I observed that after I used the Kiminasi plant booster, you know, the trees get greener. They decrease, I would say, by 5% of of what's going out. They look more happy trees. You know, there's nothing as
Wow.
compared to the fungus before the water. And that's incidentally because they are located inside the vanilla trees that I'm using. The vanilla and I used to plant cacao as something for the vanilla tree.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's tied in to the cacao. So I plant also uh, yes and trees nearby. Uh, and I don't know expectation. I will have to more research. My plan is I have like 3 or 4 small farms in Puerto Rico that are growing oranges. I will try to visit them inside the island on the hills and explain what about the Kiminosi product and try to do a test there because if that happens, they will save the industry, the citrus industry of the island or any other spot because the reality is that has been positive, successful as regard to eliminate all the fungus itself just by the water because I'm doing anything else. Uh, More than that, I would
That,
say that I'm working also at this time with a watermelon farm on Salinas, one of the municipalities in Puerto Rico, and they have like 12 acres of planted there. We installed the Kiminati 35 or 40 days. I'm planning to go there next week to take some pictures and see the outcome because they are very happy also what they have been following conversations through telephone. Hopefully, that's my I would say that's my attest as regard to what is happening with the Kiminasi plant booster in Puerto Rico and the success. I would love to have more farmers there, but it's a process that has been, you know, it's a new product. The farmers in Puerto Rico, you have to talk to them several times. You have to be very persistent as regard to the sale or to the connection and next step. But I need to test looking for like the the turmeric, the vanilla, the grapefruit, the orange trees. With that on mind and the watermelon, I think that there will be successful operation as regard to the distribution in Puerto Rico or to the selling of Puerto Rico or the happy camper in Puerto Rico as regard to the harvest harmonic. But on my expectation is that I should grow more turmeric next year because the outcome should be twice or 3 times as compared to the soil. So I
wow.
love to do that. I would love to do that.
Yeah. I
Sorry
mean,
for
that's amazing. I mean, farmers don't
the
believe us when we tell
intervention,
them.
but I try to summarize what in mind, and also if it will be more. You can get to anyone my telephone numbers or my email. You can call me in Puerto Rico anytime, and I will try to answer any question or I'll try to provide information as regard to the tropics or whatever what we're doing here on farming in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that sounds great. When farmers don't believe us when we tell them 20, 30, 40%. But I mean, guys like you are just attesting to that. We know when we keep getting those results, keep getting that information, more and more farmers are finding out about it, and they realize that this is the real deal.
See, Jim, I remember that I have a problem with the one small farm. I installed the Kiminasi plant booster. He has like a green pepper, sweet peppers farm,
Mhm.
small
Mhm.
operation. And he was making 100 pounds a month. When I
Mm.
installed that by the 68 or 75 thereafter, twice 200 pounds a month of sweet. He has a problem there, and
Wow.
also who has to reinstall the system because that happens. And also, I have one on green plantains, but the reality is that he has an accident there, and we have to wait until the recovery and many other things. But I can attest that that guide that I put on the sweet peppers, he was so happy with the outcome because the same size of land, he was making twice the amount of green pepper.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
I mean, yeah, peppers just, I don't even know what it is about our technology in peppers, but peppers, like, we routinely see 70% and higher increases in weight in terms of yield. And Puerto Rico is no different. That's great to hear. I mean, we
Yeah,
want
I
to
can
help
attest
farmers.
that.
That's our whole point, So
That's
it's
the
good
whole
to hear.
point. But
It's very,
people have to know about, how to spread the voice there, and this is a good mechanism, and maybe more brochures, knock door, on a one by one basis, just to be sure everything is okay. But I am really convinced, and I can attest that the success of the Kiminosi and booster is there. The only thing is, time. The time will come
yeah,
through. The people will attest that this is happening.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to hear that. We did the grant a couple years ago because of all the farmers that were wiped out by Hurricane Maria and even Irma before that. And it's good to hear that the farmers are actually getting good results out of that, and you and the other farmers there are seeing some of that benefit from that too. So we're happy to hear it, and we look forward to hearing
I'm
what
happy.
your final results on turmeric.
Yeah, we love to
Yeah,
show some
absolutely,
pictures
and
maybe by December of the harvest of the turmerics, because I expected that the results should be bigger as compared to
mhm,
soil, because I have
yeah,
like 1 acre of regular soil planted, and it's
mhm.
like 2 inches and a half, the biggest one that I can get. But the
Oh wow,
Kiminasi, I think I can get 3 or 4 inches rhizomas. That should be amazing.
nice.
That's my big expectation. I will keep you notified, because my plan is that maybe by the end of November, try to harvest. It's too early in the process. Try to harvest turmeric and see the results. If we can measure
Yeah,
that and see the outcome there in two
yeah,
or maybe 60 days, we can attest that the Kiminasi plant booster is doing its work.
nice. I want to hear that result for sure. Want to see what we can do for turmeric. I'd also like to see nutrient analysis and see how much of the nutrient density looks like. In other words, are they healthier also in addition to bigger and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff that
they
we
are
get to see?
bigger, but the nutrients are the regular ones. That are the same that I use every year. You know,
Hmm.
it's nothing
Yeah,
different except the watering. But I would say that it will be more attractive. We can go with an irrigation system directly to the roots, Jim.
hmm.
But in my case, it's aerial. You know,
Oh, okay. You got the sprayers on the
the
top. Yeah.
sprayer. Every plant is getting the water.
Hmm.
Not directly on the root, but on the air.
Yeah.
So maybe if you do directly to the roots, and I'm planning to do that next year, you will compare, the aerial versus the irrigation directly to the root, and maybe they will grow bigger.
Yeah. Maybe we get 10 pounds per plant instead of 5.
No, well,
Maybe.
I read about a guy in India that get 8 pounds per plant,
Wow.
and that
Yeah.
should be amazing. But my goal is 5.
Well, if you can get 5 from half a pound to 5, that's 10 times more. So that's a pretty good result.
Yeah, I'm expecting that, but let's wait for the time frame as by December or
Yeah.
January, or maybe some of the plants that I can, let's say, detente on the harvest to February, by the end of February or March, because the reality is on the turmeric, you have to spread the harvest between January and the end of April. So the plants
Hmm.
are there and nothing happens. The rhizoma is still growing. So maybe you have a 90 days differentiation, or you will see the different outcome as regard to the monthly harvest. You follow me?
Yeah,
That's the
for sure.
intention. It's really a test. Remember, for me, it's impressive, Jim. I'm very success. The success of the using it's impressive. When you see that plants, and I brought people to my land to see that, and they don't. They say, "What you are doing? What you are doing with the plants?" So
But that would be my question. So, what if you had a farmer that was going to ask you, they said they're thinking about it, but they're not really sure. Like, what advice would you give them as far as Kiminosi plant booster?
yeah, but remember, I still waiting for some of the farmers that received the grant. They never call me as regard to the follow-up because they never installed the irrigation system. Remember, in Puerto Rico, it's a small island, not compared to the extension of the USA or something like that you are continuously using, or maybe in South America and Central America, they use irrigation system of more intensity. In Puerto Rico, you have small farmers that doesn't use the irrigation system at all. You know, they wait for the God to provide the rain.
Wait for the
But I said,
rainfall.
no, you have to install an irrigation system, look for something beautiful, maybe decrease the amount of soil or land that you're using, and go intensive with the irrigation system. Well, you know, it's a question and observation. They never do the step. If they don't use the next step, also install the irrigation, I will not give the Kiminosi for sure on the grant.
Yeah.
It's to the front. Because this is a good, you know, an excellent equipment. So why are going to use something you are not doing your part as regard to, you know, maximize what I'm happily knowing with the turmeric and the vanilla and the citrus and many other things that I am observing. Remember, I am also using the Kiminosi plant booster on a coffee plantation that I was abandoned for 60 years. And I went there, I, 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 I cut the seeds, the weeds, and everything. I only found any trees alive.
Wow.
So today, and there was no too many leaves at all, Jim. No leaves.
Yeah.
So today, I'm expecting in 60 days to show you the picture how the leaves are coming. They are greener. Coffee tree with more than 60 years old.
Wow.
You know, they have like, I would say they have 20 coffee beans on the plantation, the small plantation. So I'm cleaning everything and I'm putting my effort just to divert the water that I'm using for the vanilla to the coffee plantation. And I'm seeing results already. Over the greeny, everything looks fine. I do my job, you know, I have to plant food and take care of the little coffee tree. But they are coming. They are coming.
Nice. And bringing it back to life after 60 years. That's great.
Exactly. Well, if I can be helpful, I try to explain as much as I can as regard to the Kiminosi plant booster and my expertise and my experience here in Puerto Rico. And I would love to do that with anyone that if you want my help or you want to repeat something like this in a 30 or 50 days, just call me and I will be more than happy to help.
Yeah, it's great. I think we definitely will take you up on that. We want to see what results you have around harvest time because it looks like, you know, most people don't realize when you'll see results in the plants within, you know, a few weeks or a couple of months. But, you know, at harvest time, that's when we really want to see, you know, how well you're doing and how well things are looking at that point.
But
For sure.
Jim, I can attest because the water that you put, Frank explained that to me, but I never get the picture at all after I found. You know, I water in my garden and where I have the vanilla plants and also have some coffee trees. I have a coffee tree planted just maybe 6 feet to my entrance of my home, you know, in front of my door. It was like 4 feet tall. When I started using the water, you know how much it is? 7 feet. Today
How
is
many?
7 feet. 7 feet.
7 feet.
In 90 days, it's moved from 4 to 7. Just one tree. And also
Wow.
they have big coffee beans. I would take some picture because right now there are maybe 50. It's the first harvest because historically the trees, coffee tree, you have to plant the gym and wait 3 years.
Right.
So that tree is 3 years old,
Hmm.
mostly 3 years old. So that was coming, but the reality is growth today is 7 feet tall. Is in front of my, as I say, in front of my door, my home, and I every day I pass through. But listen, all the leaves are bigger. It's greener. All the plants around. Everything is bigger. I don't know, but it's bigger, and I have a problem because I have to do the landscaping myself. It's customary. You have to go there every week and you just cut off, until everything because the transition is that it grows twice as regular to the regular rain or whatever you said. The watering is not the same.
Mhm.
Something is magical, is the word that I will use on the Kiminosi, that the plants really is a booster. And I don't know
Right.
the reason, but the reality is a booster of everything, on everything that I have at home. On my garden is growing and growing and growing twice as compared to the regular system. My
That's
I
great.
have a myself uh, sending you a picture of the coffee beans, the right ones, just in front of my door, and you will see. But you will see the difference compared to the other ones. Just for
Yeah,
the
for sure.
record,
I'd love to see that. Yeah, I mean that's great. I mean, I'd love to hear. I love to hear successes from farmers because, sometimes when you're talking to new guys, they're always repeating the same things. But when you actually see somebody that's getting results, it's like it's good to hear that. Hey, what we're
yeah,
doing
but
is actually helping the farmers.
what is also for me a positive thing, Jim, is that that transition of avoiding the pesticide and the system that is in the USA and many other countries that are eroding the soil. With this system, reality is like being natural. All you don't have to do nothing except
Right.
water in the system and take care over. But the reality is that it's like I would say nearby organic. Now, I don't like the use organic because it's restricted in the USA, but and also in Puerto Rico because of the law and everything counts. But ecologically attractive, the best equipment that I have found today is Humanitarian plant booster, and I have been working on that area almost 10 years. Trying to do eco-friendly things, avoiding the pesticides and to the land. So it's directly at the point. So I'm happy.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that you're happy, and I'm hoping we can make a lot more farmers happy. And we're kind of reaching our time limit here, but Ivan, I appreciate you jumping on and talking about your experiences, and definitely look forward to maybe in a couple of months seeing, as you get close to harvest, seeing how things look then, because I'd love to see double or triple the size of your plants if they get that far. So, or whatever
Well,
we
you
see
will
there.
see
We'd love
that,
to see
Jim,
it.
on the watermelons because it's a 90 days harvest. The
Hmm.
intention is that we're in the half of the cycle by mid or by the beginning of October. So maybe we'll hit big melons or twice the amount that the farmer usually have on the product land.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
want to see that. We got
expectation.
it. Yeah, I want to see that. We got a lot of melon growers out there that would love to see that also. So definitely keep us
Okay.
posted.
I'm planning to go next week. Anyway, I will get the pictures and talk to the farmer and see if he has some comments or something. I will pass it to you. Okay.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Ivan, thank
Awesome.
you so much for joining us. We appreciate having you, and keep doing everything you're doing and keep us posted. We'd love to see the results.
I will love it all the time.
All right. Thank
Just
you.
that. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Guys, if you want to see results just like Ivan here, again, our opportunity is open to anybody who wants it. So give us a call, 727-324-6750, or check out our website at harvestharmonics.com. You can check out a wide variety of results we've gotten on crops all over the world. And we want to help you get results just like you saw there with Ivan. And we can't wait till he finishes his harvest and we really see the actual differences because, you know, when we tell people, hey, you can get 20% and more increases in yield, a lot of them don't believe it. But the reality is, we're really routinely getting that. We oftentimes, as you heard here with Ivan, you'll see 40, 50, 60% increases in yield as well. So take us up on our offer. In the meantime, we'll have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow with the future of farming today.